true, which merely confirms what we've been saying about the fact that it's come really out of the blue. Say what you want about his health problems. I think despite all that, there was still the thought that it would never come to this, and also so suddenly and so tragically. So the people we've spoken to of total and utter shock. We're already hearing of, I guess, the sort of the thing that most people want to do at a time like this is to remember the good stuff and not necessarily dwell on the stuff that maybe clouded Michael Jackson and his reputation, his image around the world. And we're already hearing that there's plenty of Michael Jackson music going on down there. I mean, I guess for the people down there who've been enjoying themselves today, been having some drinks, the shock will be coupled with the need to dance, and in many ways that's the good thing of Michael Jackson to remember, as we've been reiterating, is to think about the music, to think about the Grammys, the classic albums, the records, and that's probably a mere testament to the fact that those songs are so damn catchy and memorable that everyone here at Glastonbury, and we've seen people of many, many different ages, will know Michael Jackson songs and will very much be shocked by the news and still want to sing along to the words. So I think Glastonbury really, it's just a microcosm of what's going on.
Steve, sorry, I'm just going to
world.
interrupt you for one moment, because we're getting confirmation from the LA coroner that we've been waiting for this evening, that Michael Jackson has died. That on the AFP Newswire, the LA coroner reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Of course, we've had reports throughout the evening from various sources, but now official confirmation from the LA coroner in the United States. 50-year-old pop star and icon Michael Jackson has died. Well, Steve Hargrave is talking to us from Glastonbury, and you're talking about the reaction there. Glastonbury seen very much as a young festival and more current music perhaps than Michael Jackson, but I imagine still many fans there of his music. As I was saying, it's transcended the ages, really. We've been getting emails in from people who've got children as young as 8 who listen to Michael Jackson's music.
Oh, totally and utterly, and I think that was the thing we were reminded of when he did the announcement of the new gigs, was the sheer range of ages that were there, both kids who were far too young to remember Michael Jackson in what was his pop heyday of the early 80s towards 1988-89 when he did the Bad material. They wouldn't remember that, they weren't around then, and yet here they are.
Okay, Steve, we're just going to leave you there for the moment. We're going to join our colleagues over in Fox News in the States. They're talking to the Reverend Al Sharpton, the civil rights campaigner and close friend of Michael Jackson.
I remember introducing him at James Brown's funeral. James Brown was like a father to me and was Michael's idol. And I'll never forget him calling me, saying he wanted to view James's body in the middle of the night. And I arranged for him to go to the funeral home in Augusta, view his body, and convinced him to stay. And he spoke at the last funeral of James Brown, his idol, that we often talked about. In fact, my favorite picture I kept was way before the Victory Tour was Michael, James Brown, Janet, and I. We all were much younger then, in California, about 1980. And we went back about 35 years. We marched together. We fought together. I watched him do shows. I headed community affairs for his Victory Tour. I watched him sell stadiums out. Michael Jackson made culture accept a person of color way before Tiger Woods, way before Oprah Winfrey, way before Barack Obama. Michael did with music what they later did in sports and in politics and in television. And no controversy will erase the historic impact. He learned how to sing and dance past unfair criticism. He learned how to sing and dance and be creative against his worst critics. He learned how to create even beyond his own shortcomings. He knew he had shortcomings, but he knew how to build his strengths and to use his strengths to help people around the world. We Are the World would not have happened without Michael Jackson. From We Are the World came Live Aid and other things. Michael Jackson was a trailblazer. To say an icon would only give these young people in Harlem a fraction of what he was. He was a historic figure that people will measure music and the industry by. He sold more single products than any other artist, and no one could drag him down for that. I remember he once said to me, Can you believe after his trial, he said to me, they actually were showing on television the cell they wanted to put me in. I said, well, they didn't crown you the king, and they can't take the crown off your head. Finally, I hope Michael will get the respect he was due. If he had shortcomings, they didn't equal his strengths. And if he brought days that we all hoped were days that would never come again, they didn't measure up to the many days. There are more days that he gave us of joy and pleasure. And he never forgot coming back to the Apollo and coming back to the people. I do not know what the family's intentions are yet. I certainly will be in touch. But whatever their intentions, I remember when we suddenly, without warning, lost James Brown. I brought him back to the Apollo. I don't know if his family will send Michael back, but we will memorialize him here, and I will be wherever he is to thank Michael Jackson for never forgetting us, the fans that were with him from Gary, Indiana, that knew him before the world knew him. And when the world learned of him, he never let the world forget us. He never stopped paying tribute to Jackie Wilson and Diana Ross and James Brown and the people that came out of the Apollo. He never stopped, and we should never stop talking about Michael Jackson.
As the Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights campaigner and close friend of Michael Jackson, giving his reaction at UCLA Hospital in Los Angeles. He called Michael Jackson a trailblazer and an historic figure. Well, we're hearing now from the Reuters news agency that the coroner at the UCLA hospital said that Michael Jackson was pronounced dead after arriving at the hospital in full cardiac arrest, and he said that an autopsy would take place most likely today, Friday. Well, let's talk to Jeannie Wolf, West Coast editor for Parade magazine. Jeannie, we're getting reaction there from Reverend Al Sharpton, one of the many people whose lives Michael Jackson touched, and giving fulsome praise for him and the part that he's played in America's music history.
Well, the one thing I